Mission begins in 10 seconds.
Hey guys, HuskyUnit again with another gameplay commentary. This time we're playing on Payload Barnblitz. I'm playing Pyro as always, and I'm using the Degreaser, flare gun and extinguisher as usual. I think this time I'm going to do something a bit different. Instead of talking about the gameplay, I'm going to talk about Pyro in general. I'm going to talk about how I feel the Pyro should be played, or at least how I play it. And I'm also going to go into the weapon choices for Pyro, and what I think is good and what's not good. A lot of people seem to think that the Pyro is overpowered at lower level play, and he's underpowered at middle level play, and he only really reaches a balance when it's high level play. And I agree to an extent, and I think the reason for this is that the Pyro excels in one-to-one situations. I think besides a soldier, the Pyro has the best balanced 1 versus 1 matchups in the game. There's very few classes that he can do with 1-to-1. I think Sniper at long range with no cover is bad for Pyro, even though he's probably one of the better classes as well with flare gun. Engineer with a well-placed sentry, Pyro can't do much. A good heavy at close range can shut down Pyro, and arguably a demo man at long to middle range, but I think some people would disagree with that. But other than those classes and those specific scenarios, he can pretty much deal with any other class very quickly. For every low health class without a buff, you can just flare, and that's then basically dead. Soldier is reflect to flare, almost dead. And of course the ever so controversial extinguisher, which pretty much deals with every class in a one-to-one situation. The problem is, with the Pyro, he needs to be in fairly close range to pull off these effective quick kills on other classes. And in team play, it's a lot more about holding choke points and denying space to the enemy. The space that the Pyro needs, and I'm not sure what happened with the lag there. I think that was actually in the game, the server, or possibly me. Anyway, yeah, the Pyro just doesn't get the chance to get in as close as he needs to get those kills. And the reason that the Pyro does better in high level play than mid level play, in my opinion, is that he does well at that job of denying space that I was talking about before that happens in team play. With the air blast, you can stop people from coming in close, he stops spies from getting past, and he can reflect spam back, so he does a really good job of holding a point. And at high level play also, you get few chances to make the picks to get kills. So if you've got the accuracy with the flare, you know, one hit is all you need, that one opportunity to get a kill. So yeah, I think the Pyro is a very difficult class to be consistent with, because a lot of the time you got one chance to get the hit, or the opportunity is completely lost, and that will make a difference between doing nothing and getting a pick. And you've got a lot of responsibility as well, supporting your team. May not be the most exciting role, but it's fairly important in my opinion. And I think this is the reason why in low level games I'll play very aggressively, as you'll see. I think that's simply because I can without it being a huge risk. People aren't supporting each other so much, so I can get close into the range where I can get very easy picks. And I can get one-to-one situations, which I do well in. Whilst in high level play, the one-to-one situations are very, very rare, so I'll often play a lot more support and letting the classes that do well in group fights do their part. I'll be honest, I don't remember if this game was a high level or low level one in my opinion. I have a bunch of demos. Well, I record every game that I play in a demo, and then afterwards I just filter through all of them and see any that are decent, and then I just have those kept aside. So this was one of them. And I knew I didn't really need to watch it since I would just be doing a general commentary rather than a breakdown. Mini fruit's delicious. Anyway, yeah, I'll talk about the weapons now. So flamethrower choices are the flamethrower, the degreaser and the backburner. Honestly, I don't think it's really possible at all to justify the flamethrower for the degreaser at any point. That tiny bit more afterburn is just not worth the extra damage you can do through secondaries. and I wouldn't say I dismissed the back burner, but I never really gave it a go. As soon as I started Pyro, I went straight for Degreaser Shotgun. So I never really got a hang of how to play back burner Pyro. But recently, Cyberman, who I'll link to in the comments, I'm pointing down in real life, but you can't see me. He recently did a video, 2 videos on back burner and detonator. Just talk about how he played it, well, in annotations, and I've also played with him and he was using it, messing around a bit, but still, he's a pretty cool guy, and he encouraged me to try it out, and honestly, it was a lot of fun. I was surprised what you could get away with the back burner. So I do think the back burner is a viable choice. It's not like you can't air blast while the heavy runs away. You can definitely air blast, you just have to be a lot more conservative with your air blasts. And I don't know if it's something I'll do a lot, but no, it's definitely fun to do every once in a while, and it works. Possibly not as good as Degreaser, but it's definitely doable. I'm definitely biased in the matter since I've never used the back burner much, but I'm sure there's people out there who use the back burner a lot that will testify to its effectiveness and who are just as effective or maybe even more effective than me with my Degreaser. Oh wow, I've realised completely forgotten the Dr. Grodvor weapons. That would be the Phlogistinator? I have no idea how to pronounce that. The Man Melter and the 3rd degree. I'll talk about the Flog last, since that's kind of the big controversial topic at the moment. Oh wow, and I'm already quite far in the video, so I'm gonna have to speed up for the rest of the weapons. Secondaries. The shotgun is the stock, and I used to use it all the time, but then I saw some TMP videos, and that inspired me to try the flare gun, and I've honestly not looked back since. But I should talk about the shotgun first. It's the most consistent secondary. If you're having bad aim or just having a bad day, sorry. Missing too badly of it, you'll still do damage and you'll still have shots before you have to reload. So it's, I don't know, it's the most reliable in my opinion. It doesn't get picks as quick as a flare gun can, but it does provide more supportive damage. I don't know if people will let me talk about the shotgun that way, but no matter. Let's talk about the flare gun, my favourite. It's the reliable burst damage weapon for the Pyro. For every crit flare it's 90 damage, always. Almost always. And that 90 damage is just a perfect number. As I said before, to take out light classes unbuffed, just a bit of flame and a flare. Soldiers, just a reflect at close range and flare. And it fits my playstyle. I like the one-to-one aspect of it, where you just hit one person, there's your kill. Reserve shooter is sort of like the cross between the shotgun and the flare, in my opinion. It's like the burst damage of the flare, so you can be more aggressive instead of being support. But it's hit scan, and the major downside is you need to be close, and I don't like that. As you see, me as a Pyro, I don't get in super close range too often, and I like to harass people at long range with my flares, which you just can't do with the reserve shooter. I mean, some people make it work, but it doesn't work for me. Oh wow, I realised how low I am on time. Man Melter. Useless. Useless in my opinion. Not even going to discuss it. I have it, and I just don't like it. Detonator. Once again, it doesn't give that high burst damage. Only 45 is kind of miserable for a crit. But the ability to get around maps is great. So I think it's a very map dependent choice, and it does work well with the back burner. If you've watched my videos much, you'll see that I very rarely melee. I don't know why. I probably should melee more, but I just don't. So the melee choices for the Pyro don't affect me largely. I think the obvious choice is the Extinguisher, which gives, what, 195 damage? on a burning enemy. I don't even remember, that's how little I use it. In my opinion, it's a little overpowered, but not to the point where it's game breaking. But I would not mind if they got rid of it either. Normally I use Extinguisher if there's lots of heavies on the other team. If I'm supporting an NG on defense, I will use the Home Wrecker. Otherwise I use Power Jack or Third Degree, depending on how I'm feeling, whether it's something practical or something just pretty cool. I should probably wrap this up since we're pushing the cart to the last point with nothing stopping us. First in points, probably for just pushing the cart. I've really enjoyed making this video. I love talking about my opinions. I hope you've enjoyed it just as much as I have, and I would appreciate any feedback at all. And I completely forgot to talk about the vlog. I will do that next video, I promise. Hopefully before it's too late and they nerf or change it or whatever. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next video. Bye bye.